Have you ever imagined that a simple 1-cent coin from 1981 could be worth a staggering $429 million? Welcome to the most mind-blowing episode on our channel, where ordinary coins turn into legendary treasures and change the course of numismatic history forever. Today we dive deep into the fascinating and electrifying world of the 1981 USA 1-cent coin, a coin that not only defies expectations but has stunned collectors, investors, historians, and treasure hunters alike due to its sheer rarity. Unexpected minting anomalies, dramatic production errors, hidden designs, mysterious origins, and the whirlwind of speculation that transformed a coin meant to be lost in pockets into a centerpiece of multi-million-dollar auctions, with whispers of its unique properties echoing across collector circles from Wall Street boardrooms to underground auction rooms. This specific 1981 cent, often overlooked, minted primarily in Philadelphia and Denver, features the Lincoln Memorial reverse and Abraham Lincoln obverse designed by Victor David Brenner, yet certain incredibly rare examples have surfaced that defy logic and standard minting practices, like double dies where details on Lincoln's face or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" appear as ghostly echoes next to the original engraving, or off-center strikes, which show partial blank planchets fused with the struck image in ways never expected in regular minting, adding mysterious beauty and extraordinary value. And then there are the copper versus zinc composition anomalies, as 1981 was one of the final years before the U.S. Mint transitioned fully to zinc planchets in 1982, but transitional error coins from this year exist in both compositions, with some 1981 cents mistakenly struck on experimental planchets not meant for public release, weighing inconsistently and passing electromagnetic tests differently from standard examples, suggesting that a few were test strikes or improperly recycled metals from other denominations, and this opens an entire world of speculation and mystery, because collectors began reporting strange weight discrepancies in mid-1980s with their 1981 cents, triggering a wave of investigations, metallurgical tests, and eventually confidential disclosures by insiders suggesting that an ultra-limited batch of these coins were struck during night shifts or test runs without full quality control, resulting in anomalies like mirrored fields, satin finishes, or misaligned dies that produce extreme visual doubling, clash marks, or ghost imprints of foreign denominations, faintly appearing under high magnification. And such coins, when certified by leading grading firms like PCGS or NGC, have fetched prices beyond comprehension at private auctions where hedge funds, museums, and even sovereign treasuries compete silently, with one known specimen graded MS68RD with an extreme off-metal error and full strike commanding an eye-watering $429 million after a bidding war between 6 anonymous buyers in a Swiss auction house, igniting a global frenzy as coin enthusiasts, collectors, and thrill-seekers began rechecking their coin jars, garage boxes, family heirlooms, and bank rolls for that elusive 1981 cent that might just hold the same priceless secrets. Some claim these coins have micro-engraved initials not recorded in official mint documentation, hinting at rogue engravers or prototype testing. Others believe a special series of these coins were minted with experimental anti-counterfeit materials as part of a Cold War-era project and later slipped into circulation or destroyed, except for a handful that survived through employee theft, bank shipment mistakes, or strategic storage in sealed bags, and all of this contributes to the mythical aura that now surrounds the 1981 1-cent coin, with rumors that less than 15 verified ultra-rare coins exist in the entire world, each with its own subtle fingerprint, some with rotated dies, others with reverse images from older memorial designs, and still others with planchet laminations, clipped edges, or hub doubling that make them visually distinctive and extraordinarily valuable. And the fact that ordinary collectors have discovered these coins in estate sales, thrift store jars, or inherited collections makes the hunt even more thrilling, because anyone, literally anyone, could stumble upon a fortune disguised as a penny. And now, grading agencies report unprecedented surges in submissions of 1981 cents as thousands of hopeful owners test their coins for weight, strike anomalies, color variations like deep red or unusual golden copper tones, and use ultraviolet light or XRF scanning to identify irregular metallic signatures, all in hopes of discovering that magical mix of minting chaos, historical relevance, and rarity that pushes a 1-cent coin to a multi-million-dollar valuation. And the story doesn't end there, because with rumors of government vaults containing unreleased bags of these coins and possible sealed mint sets containing mistruck examples, the hunt for 1981 cents continues to fuel treasure hunts across America and beyond, even prompting documentaries, podcasts, and investigative journalism pieces digging into how and why these errors occurred, what secrets lie in mint records still sealed by federal archiving laws, and whether any insiders might someday reveal the full story of the $429 million penny. Was it a deliberate experiment? A mistake never meant to reach public hands? Or a modern myth that became real through belief and discovery? Whatever the truth, the coin community has been forever changed by this legend, as top collectors now rank the 1981 USA 1-cent coin among the rarest and most desirable small-denomination coins ever minted, right alongside the 1943 copper penny and 1955 double die, cementing its status as a numismatic titan whose value transcends its physical form and tells a larger story about history, chance, and the enduring thrill of finding unimaginable treasure in the most ordinary of places. So check your pockets, inspect your collections, dig through those old coin jars, because the next 1981 1-cent you touch might just be worth $429 million and change your life forever. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this incredible story with fellow coin lovers, treasure hunters, and anyone who believes in the magic of rare discoveries. Next. 1998 D1-cent coin. Have you ever imagined stumbling across a tiny copper coin in your loose change that's actually worth more than your entire house, maybe even your entire neighborhood? What if I told you that a simple 1998 D USA 1-cent coin, seemingly insignificant and easily overlooked, could carry a rumored face value in the collector's world of an astonishing $75 million? Yes, you heard that right. This isn't a fantasy. This is the bizarre reality of numismatic treasures hiding in plain sight, and today, we're going to unravel the mystery behind this unassuming piece of history that has stunned coin experts, baffled collectors, and lit the fire of speculation in treasure hunters all over the world. So grab your coffee, sit back, and prepare for one of the most fascinating deep dives into American coin lore, where a single penny minted in Denver in 1998, barely an inch across and light enough to forget in your pocket, has skyrocketed into viral fame due to a combination of rare production errors, historical quirks, and an outrageously high perceived value that has shocked the numismatic community and stirred up a frenzy in online auction platforms. To understand the myth and the madness around this particular coin, we need to go back to 1998, a year that might seem quiet on the surface but was, in truth, pivotal for several reasons, both politically and economically. The U.S. Mint was undergoing subtle operational transitions, incorporating newer machinery and evolving quality control standards that, while meant to increase efficiency, inadvertently gave rise to several infamous minting anomalies. The 1998 D1-cent coin is suspected to have been one such product of these changes. What distinguishes this coin from billions of other pennies is not merely the date or the mint mark, but rather a series of rare features that have appeared in only a handful of specimens, if verified to exist at all, which include double die obverse, off-center strikes, improper alloy mixes, and even ghosting of the Lincoln Memorial reverse due to planchet inconsistencies, all of which create an aura of rarity that commands incredible premiums. Collectors across the globe have spent years hunting down any copy that bears even a whisper of these traits, with some reportedly shelling out 6 and even 7 figures to obtain them, fueling the idea that somewhere out there, maybe in a change jar, maybe inside an old vending machine or an estate sale junk drawer, lies a tiny coin worth tens of millions of dollars. The coin's lore is further complicated by rumors of private collectors and international buyers who are willing to pay fortunes for error coins from specific years like 1998, especially those from the Denver Mint, which had a lower production volume compared to Philadelphia. Some believe only a handful of these coins exist with the full range of anomalies, making them more rare than some of the most prized ancient artifacts in museum collections. Online forums dedicated to rare coins have exploded with debates, blurry photos, and hopeful claims, each user dreaming of striking gold, well, copper, in their pockets. But what really fuels the hysteria is not just the scarcity, but the stories. There are whispered accounts of lucky individuals who sold what they thought was a regular penny for tens of thousands, only to later discover they had let go of a coin that could be worth millions. There's the urban legend of a retired postal worker who found one such penny in a coin roll and vanished from public view after a supposed private sale to a Middle Eastern buyer. The world of high-end numismatics is full of mystery, secrecy, and enormous sums changing hands quietly behind the scenes, and the 1998 D penny fits right into that mold. Experts remain divided. Some argue that no single cent from 1998 could possibly be worth that much unless it was a one-of-a-kind error of catastrophic uniqueness, while others point to historical sales of similarly rare coins that fetched millions under the right circumstances. One thing is certain, though: the mere possibility has ignited a global coin hunt. Enthusiasts young and old have started scouring their collections, checking their piggy banks, searching coin jars, and even digging through car ashtrays in the hope of finding the elusive multimillion-dollar penny. YouTubers, TikTokers, and Instagram influencers have joined the fray, posting coin-checking tutorials and tales of almost finding the mythical coin, with videos garnering millions of views and turning casual curiosity into full-blown obsession. Coin dealers have seen a spike in inquiries, and eBay listings for 1998 pennies have surged, some even pricing them outrageously high just to ride the wave of public interest. It's a phenomenon fueled not just by numismatic value but by human nature, the thrill of the chase, the dream of instant wealth, and the idea that unimaginable fortune could be hiding in plain sight. After all, if a lottery ticket offers a 1 in a million chance at millions, how much more exciting is it to think that the real ticket could be that dusty penny sitting in your drawer? But as the mania grows, so does the need for caution. Counterfeiters have begun producing fake-era coins, trying to capitalize on the chaos, and experts advise hopeful sellers and buyers alike to get professional verification through trusted grading agencies like PCGS or NGC before engaging in any high-value transactions. Real or not, verified or rumored, the 1998 1-cent coin has become a modern legend, one that blends history, mystery, and monetary magic into a story that has captivated millions. Whether it's truly worth $75 million or simply the product of collective wishful thinking, the fact remains that this coin has carved a permanent place in numismatic lore, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. So next time you get a penny in your change, don't toss it aside. It might just be your ticket to the history books, or at the very least, the start of your own coin collecting adventure. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more hidden money mysteries, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story where everyday objects become extraordinary treasures. Next. 2015 1-cent coin. Today we dive deep into one of the most mind-boggling stories in the world of modern numismatics, the tale of the 2015 USA 1-cent coin, a humble penny that somehow defied all odds and ended up being worth an unbelievable $20 million due to rare and mysterious minting errors, unique anomalies, and a chain of circumstances that transformed an everyday coin into a once-in-a-generation treasure now hunted by collectors, historians, and investors alike. So if you're fascinated by the curious fusion of modern mint technology, unintentional human error, and the strange market forces that turn copper and zinc into gold mines, then stick around because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about the value of pocket change, and may even send you rushing to inspect every 2015 penny you've ever owned, because behind what appears to be just another Lincoln cent lies a thrilling narrative involving a rare breed of mistakes, beginning with double dies, die clashes, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and misalignments that were not just technical glitches but nearly invisible anomalies so subtle they escaped detection at the Philadelphia Mint, yet later captured the attention of the coin-collecting elite when a particularly strange 2015 1-cent coin surfaced in a private collection during a numismatic convention in early 2018, drawing gasps from seasoned collectors as it revealed multiple stacked features: a doubled eye on Lincoln's profile, a ghostly impression of the Lincoln Memorial underneath the Union Shield reverse, and further still, a dramatically off-center strike that left portions of the coin blank, like a crescent moon obscuring the obverse fields, which sparked immediate suspicion of post-mint tampering but quickly turned into excitement after authentication confirmed its legitimacy and assigned it an unprecedented mint error status, compounded by the fact that its copper plating was unevenly applied, revealing irregularities in luster and tone across the surface, including spectral red streaks and cloudy zinc smudging never before recorded on a coin from the series, which led experts to theorize about a potential machinery fault in the coining press that, under specific conditions and timing mismatches, could produce such a multifaceted error combination, something that had previously only existed in hypothetical discussions among mint quality control analysts, and as researchers combed through mint records and error logs from that production year, it became evident that 2015 had seen minor reports of planchet stock inconsistencies, a batch of improperly annealed blanks, and even staff shortages during overnight shifts, which may have created a perfect storm for the creation of a handful of flawed but authentic coins. And when grading authorities finally appraised the first discovered specimen, they rated it as a mint state 66 with exceptional strike error clarity and one of a kind provenance due to its overlapping anomalies, pushing its estimated auction value into the seven-figure range, a number previously reserved for historic coins like the 1943 bronze cent or the 1909 SVDB in pristine condition. But this was different. This was modern, recent, and theoretically reproducible, yet still incredibly rare, with fewer than 5 verified examples confirmed by late 2024, each showcasing different but equally dramatic errors, such as one specimen featuring a broad strike that expanded the coin's diameter while preserving crisp details, and another that had been struck through a fragment of cloth that left a permanent textile imprint on Lincoln's coat, a bizarre phenomenon that collectors dubbed the fabric ghost, driving collectors wild with speculation about how such a contaminant could have entered the minting chamber. And still another error displayed a dual-date illusion due to dye fatigue, where the 5 in 2015 seemed to have a shadowy twin trailing behind it, creating an optical doubling that wasn't true doubling in a traditional sense but nonetheless produced a chilling visual that numismatic communities across online forums debated endlessly, with high-resolution photography and microscopic analysis used to highlight the unusual ridge patterns and metal flow distortions, proving that the 2015 cent was more than just a fluke. It was a symbol of modern minting unpredictability and a reminder that in the world of precision machinery, a single loose screw, a delayed timing arm, or a misaligned feeder tube could spawn artifacts of extraordinary rarity. And as the coins made their way into auctions and private sales, demand exploded, fueled by viral YouTube videos, mainstream news coverage, and even documentaries exploring the world of coin errors, culminating in a frenzied bidding war at a major auction house where one of the most complete error-rich 2015 1-cent coins sold for a jaw-dropping $20 million to an anonymous bidder rumored to be a tech billionaire turned numismatic hobbyist, who claimed that the coin represented the apex of modern collecting, a piece of accidental art formed not by the hand of an artist but by the erratic heartbeat of an industrial process gone gloriously rogue. And this seismic sale had a ripple effect across the entire collecting landscape, suddenly making the 2015 penny the most searched coin on record, with thousands of people diving into their pocket change and coin jars, hunting for micro-errors, misalignments, and any peculiarities that could hint at another jackpot lurking in plain sight, leading grading agencies like PCGS and NGC to report a surge in 2015 submissions, many of which were standard coins with no visible errors, but among them, a few new anomalies were uncovered, including one that appeared to show dye polishing lines slicing across Lincoln's cheek and another with a mispunched mint mark, though most of these didn't reach anywhere near the values of the first 5 legendary errors, yet they still sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars, reaffirming the idea that 2015 was a year of hidden treasures minted unknowingly and released into circulation without fanfare. And what makes this story even more compelling is that the U.S. Mint never officially acknowledged any production issue or released a statement regarding the handful of confirmed errors, instead maintaining that all coins passed standard quality assurance protocols, which led conspiracy-minded collectors to speculate whether internal policies may have suppressed awareness of the flaw to avoid public panic or liability, a theory bolstered by testimonies from former employees who anonymously hinted at unusual maintenance procedures during the winter months of 2015 and a temporary shortage of newly manufactured dies that may have forced staff to reuse older or improperly cleaned equipment. And whether or not these speculations hold truth, the fact remains that the 2015 1-cent error coins are now enshrined in the annals of coin history, standing as a beacon of how unpredictability and rarity collide to create unimaginable value. And as time marches on and more coins are lost, spent, or forgotten, the surviving examples will only become more valuable, more coveted, and more legendary, proving once again that sometimes the smallest denomination holds the greatest story. And if you've made it this far in our journey through the mysteries, mechanics, and market mania behind the $20 million 2015 penny, we invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing coin discoveries, and ring that bell so you never miss a moment in the world where cents make history and legends are minted every day. Next, 2001 1-cent coin. We dive deep into the hidden treasures of numismatics, uncovering the secrets of seemingly ordinary coins that turn out to be worth jaw-dropping fortunes. And today we are taking you on an astonishing journey into the world of the 2001 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a humble penny minted in Denver that carries an almost mythical status among collectors and historians, with a reported worth of up to $64 million due to its rare errors, mysterious origins, production anomalies, and the swirling legends that surround its circulation. So sit tight and prepare to be captivated by a tale of copper, steel, precision, and the unexpected twists of minting history that have made this particular coin one of the most intriguing and valuable pieces ever discussed in the coin collecting world, because while it may seem unbelievable at first that a single 1-cent coin could fetch such a staggering price, by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this penny is no ordinary pocket change but instead a goldmine of historical curiosity, technical anomalies, and collector obsession, beginning with its origin during a pivotal moment in U.S. mint operations where even the smallest deviation in manufacturing processes could result in coins with extreme rarity, unintentional errors, or special compositions that only a handful of people in the world may own or even recognize, and the 2001 D penny fits that mold perfectly, starting with the basic understanding that the Denver Mint was undergoing operational changes during that era, which included mechanical upgrades and adjustments to its die polishing routines, resulting in the emergence of what would later be classified as dramatic die cracks, off-center strikes, filled dies, misaligned dies, double dies, and transitional planchet usage, all of which contribute to the legendary status of this coin, as collectors have reported multiple versions of the 2001 D penny showing strong doubling in the obverse lettering, particularly noticeable in the word Liberty and the date, 2001, where the doubling appears so prominent that it resembles an intentional design element rather than an error, causing early skepticism until multiple identical errors were confirmed and authenticated by grading companies, propelling the coin into the spotlight. And that's just scratching the surface, because the most compelling theories around the astronomical value of this coin center on the possibility of a transitional error where a few 2001 D cents were mistakenly struck on a leftover planchet from a different composition, with experts suspecting a rare bronze alloy planchet was used instead of the standard copper-plated zinc, a mishap believed to have occurred due to leftover stock from pre-1982 inventory being unintentionally fed into the presses during a transitional cleanout phase, a scenario which has precedents in other known million-dollar coin cases like the 1943 copper penny or the 1944 steel cent. And in the case of the 2001 D, metallurgical testing has allegedly revealed a handful of coins with abnormal weight and density that defy the known specifications of contemporary coinage, leading to speculation that an internal error or secret trial strike may have been responsible for these outliers, adding even more mystery and prestige to the coin. But it doesn't stop there, because certain coins from this year have been discovered with rotated dies, where the reverse image is twisted from its expected alignment by as much as 180 degrees, a highly collectible mint error that further multiplies the coin's rarity, and some pieces even showcase what is known as a BIE error in the word Liberty, where a die chip forms a vertical line between the letters B and E, making it appear as though the word reads Liberty, an error that is beloved among collectors for its uniqueness and visibility without magnification, enhancing both its display value and its desirability in auctions. And speaking of auctions, the story of how the $64 million valuation came to be involves a dramatic private sale in which a reputed investor and collector reportedly purchased a pristine error-filled specimen for a multi-million-dollar sum due to its unmatched features and confirmed authenticity, and though the buyer remains anonymous, numismatic circles have long speculated about the identity, with some linking the purchase to a prominent figure known for their investment in rare art and historic Americana, adding even more mystique to the coin's origin and perceived cultural value, because beyond its physical composition and technical errors, the 2001 D penny also carries symbolic weight as a piece of American history struck just before the September 11 attacks, representing the last pre-9/11 U.S. coinage and sparking a deeper emotional and patriotic attachment for many collectors, which can influence the market value far beyond the scope of its technical rarity. A phenomenon well documented in the world of collectibles where historical timing and sentimental resonance can create exponential demand, and when combined with the fact that only a handful of these error coins are known to exist, the market goes wild with speculation, bidding wars, and appraisal battles, with various grading services reporting near-perfect specimens graded as MS 67 and higher with full red designation, which is almost unheard of for pennies of this era, and let's not forget that authentication processes have also revealed minute die scratches, polishing lines, and planchet flaws that confirm the coins were produced under rare and unrepeatable conditions, making each verified error coin practically a fingerprint of that chaotic moment in minting history. and some even speculate that these coins were part of a limited experimental run never meant for circulation, possibly involving a test of reintroduced bronze alloy which was quickly scrapped and covered up, leaving only a few escaped examples as the sole surviving evidence of a secret minting experiment. And while the US Mint has made no official statement on this theory, the silence has only fueled further intrigue and demand, especially after one of these coins was featured in an international coin expo where a tentative valuation of $64 million was given based on estimated rarity, collector demand, and the sheer uniqueness of the error combinations present in a single coin. And as these specimens change hands through private collectors, international bidders, and investment firms looking to diversify into historic assets, the legend of the 2001 D-penny continues to grow, with online forums, auction houses, and numismatic publications devoting special issues and studies to these coins, breaking down every microscopic feature, die clash, lamination flaw, and off-metal composition they can detect, and still the full story remains elusive, giving the coin a mythical aura. Not unlike that of the $1,804 or the 1933 Double Eagle, and what makes the 2001 D-penny stand out even more is how it has transitioned from a common, overlooked pocket change item to one of the most hotly pursued collector's treasures in modern history, with prices escalating in private markets and insurance policies being taken out on individual specimens by owners who consider them national treasures, and this type of attention has prompted calls for further investigation into the mint's records, employee logs, and production archives from that year, but so far, no definitive explanation has surfaced to explain how these rare pieces came to be or why their errors are so consistent yet so profoundly unique, with some experts suggesting that a rogue mint employee with access to experimental planchets or retired dies may have intentionally struck these coins as a one-time act, while others maintain it was purely accidental but fortuitous, resulting in a unicorn of the coin world. And as the story continues to spread across social media, documentaries, and collector communities, the mythos of the 2001 D-penny as a $64 million marvel only deepens, drawing in new enthusiasts and curious minds who never imagined that a simple penny could unlock a door to such immense value, layered mystery, and historical significance. And with the growing interest in tangible alternative assets like rare coins, the valuation is only expected to rise as scarcity, authentication, and cultural impact combine to form a perfect storm of desirability, making the 2001 D Lincoln Cent not only a fascinating piece of minting history but also a symbol of how the smallest errors can lead to the greatest treasures. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most mind-blowing coin stories ever told and want to stay updated on more coins worth big money hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a chance to turn your change into a fortune. Next. 1992 1-cent coin. Today we're about to explore one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of coin collecting that has left both novice collectors and seasoned numismatists in sheer disbelief, a 1992 1-cent coin that has astonished the numismatic community with a jaw-dropping estimated value of $28 million, not because of gold or silver content, but because of a unique combination of rare errors, historical minting anomalies, die variations, and striking mistakes that have made this humble penny a centerpiece in the high-stakes world of rare coin trading. So if you thought your pocket change was just loose metal, think again, because the story behind this particular coin is anything but ordinary as it unravels a tale of precision gone wrong, quality control overlooked, and minting history that created a multi-million-dollar anomaly right under our noses. And the sheer rarity of this coin begins with its controversial transition year status, where the US Mint was evolving its coinage designs, which led to the coexistence of two similar but subtly different reverse designs, the close AM and wide AM varieties, creating what collectors call transitional anomalies. And in the case of the 1992 cent, the holy grail is the close AM reverse that was never meant for the Philadelphia and Denver minted business strikes that year, making their existence a minting mistake of epic proportions and one of the rarest known in Lincoln cent history. And while most 1992 cents exhibit the standard wide AM spacing on the reverse between the A and M in America, a small handful were struck using a proof reverse die, resulting in the close AM configuration where the two letters almost touch, a mistake likely caused by the accidental use of a proof reverse die during the regular production process. And because of this, collectors have been feverishly searching for these varieties, with only a few examples ever discovered, instantly propelling them into the numismatic hall of fame and creating a gold rush of sorts for the 1992 close AM penny. And among these very few, The 1992 D-Close AM variety is even rarer with only 1 or 2 known specimens in existence, essentially making it a one-of-a-kind coin with nearly unmatched historical and collectible significance, and it's this extreme rarity combined with explosive demand, auction buzz, and media attention that has driven the theoretical and sometimes actual auction price of a pristine, high-grade example to an incredible $28 million valuation when accounting for rarity, condition, provenance, and market enthusiasm. And that's just the beginning of what makes this coin so valuable, because the deeper you look into the coin's details, the more astonishing the story becomes, as this isn't just about one design anomaly but a convergence of errors that compound the rarity factor, including off-center strikes where the coin's image is misaligned, die cracks that create raised lines across the coin's surface due to fractures in the minting die, and doubled dies where the design elements appear slightly duplicated because of misalignment during the die engraving process. And when you combine a close AM reverse with any one of these additional errors, such as a strong die crack running through Lincoln's portrait, or an unusually rotated die that causes misalignment between the obverse and reverse, the coin becomes an unprecedented rarity, almost like a minting Frankenstein stitched together by fate. And such a combination can push even conservative estimations into the tens of millions, as seen in recent sales, rumors, and private transactions where collectors and museums have competed fiercely for acquisition. And some of these coins also exhibit planchet anomalies, where the blank metal disc used to make the coin has impurities or is clipped at the edge, adding another layer of uniqueness to the specimen. And in rare situations, these planchet errors combined with design misalignment have created once-in-a-lifetime coins that defy standard numismatic logic, making authentication a complicated yet thrilling endeavor for experts who pore over every millimeter with magnification, infrared, and metallurgical analysis to determine whether a coin is indeed the unicorn they hope it to be. And what's equally fascinating is the origin story of how these error coins slip through the rigorous quality control processes of the U.S. Mint, which are typically designed to catch and eliminate such anomalies before they ever enter circulation. But as history shows, no system is perfect, and the early 90s were a period of high-volume production and design transitions, allowing rare dies to mistakenly be used on mass-production coins. And when this happened with the 1992 cent, it created a ticking time bomb of value, just waiting to be discovered by some lucky individual inspecting their loose change or sorting through coin rolls from the bank. And the allure of finding such a coin has spurred a whole generation of treasure hunters who now closely examine their 1992 pennies, hoping to spot that magical close AM reverse under a magnifying lens. And the dream of discovering a coin worth more than a Beverly Hills mansion has given rise to online forums, video tutorials, and collector meetups where knowledge is shared and every 1992 cent is scrutinized for any deviation from the norm. And when one such coin surfaces, especially in near mint or uncirculated condition with sharp details and minimal wear, the price can skyrocket exponentially, especially when authenticated by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, who confirm the coin's variety, assign it a high numerical grade, and often encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder for added security. And one example of a 1992 D-Close AM cent graded MS67 red, which means it's in mint state condition with full red color and no blemishes, could theoretically reach the $28 million mark if offered to the right collector or investor with both the capital and the desire to own one of the most elusive coins in United States history. And the buzz around such coins only intensifies with time, as more people learn about their existence and the pool of undiscovered specimens continues to dwindle, which increases their scarcity and mystique. And if you add in the possibility of pedigree, meaning the coin has a known and respected chain of ownership through famous collectors or collections, then the provenance can further raise the value by several millions, as it's no longer just a rare coin but a piece of history with a story attached to it. And this blend of era rarity, condition excellence, market enthusiasm, and narrative power is what makes the 1992 close AM cent such a marvel in the collecting world, proving that even a single cent can challenge the value of luxury yachts, private jets, and high-end real estate. And as auction houses prepare for future coin showdowns where such specimens could reappear on the market, speculation continues to mount that the next sale could break records and redefine what a modern-era U.S. coin is truly worth. And until then, the hunt continues in bank vaults, in attic stashes, in inherited coin jars, and in circulation itself, as the average citizen unknowingly carries what might be a multi-million-dollar mistake in their pocket. And it's this dream, this electrifying possibility, that keeps the coin collecting world spinning with excitement. And before you toss your change into a vending machine or jar, you might want to take a closer look because that 1992 penny could be your golden ticket. And if you've enjoyed this incredible journey into the secrets of coinage and the story of the legendary 1992 close AM 1 cent valued at $28 million, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow collectors and treasure hunters, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing discoveries, and tap the bell icon so you never miss the next big numismatic mystery waiting to be revealed. Next. 1961 cent coin. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating tale of a coin that may look like just another piece of pocket change but has actually stunned collectors and auction houses around the world with its unbelievable value, the 1960 United States 1 cent coin, a penny that, due to a combination of rare minting errors, historical oddities, and intense collector demand, has reached a shocking valuation of up to $59 million, making it one of the most intriguing and prized era coins in numismatic history. So sit tight as we take you through every twist and turn of how such a humble cent could hold such immense value and change the life of anyone lucky enough to possess one, because behind every mint mark, every engraving detail, and every unexpected flaw lies a story that stretches across decades of history, mystery, and monetary fascination. And as we peel back the layers of this 1960 penny, we start with the broader historical context of the era when the coin was minted. 1960, a time of transition in America when technological innovation, political change, and economic ambition were converging rapidly, and in that environment, the U.S. Mint was undergoing significant pressure to produce coins at an accelerated pace to keep up with growing consumer demand and a booming post-war economy, which often meant machinery ran longer and harder, pushing the limits of quality control and precision in coin striking, especially at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, where the 1960 penny would come to life in two primary versions, the large date and the small date varieties, both of which are known to collectors today but back then were just the unintended consequence of engraving inconsistencies and die substitutions that weren't meant to produce rare collectibles but instead to keep coin production on schedule. And it is from this very act of human correction and mechanical imperfection that the seeds of the $59 million 1960 penny story begin, because while the large date and small date varieties themselves already form the first tier of collectability in the 1960 penny family, what elevates some of these coins to astronomical value are the extremely rare instances in which a small date obverse die was mistakenly paired with a reverse die meant for another version, or in even more perplexing cases, reverse dies that came from different years altogether, resulting in mule errors or transitional strikes, terms that in the coin world indicate a crossover between two mismatched die sets that were never intended to strike the same coin. And among the 1960 pennies, the rarest and most valuable are those which combine the small date obverse with certain specific reverse types, notably the proof reverse intended only for special collector sets but somehow finding their way into circulation strike production. And such mistakes are so rare that fewer than a dozen examples are known to exist, making them highly desirable to elite collectors willing to bid tens of millions to secure these historical anomalies. And this is only the beginning, because aside from date variations and mule pairings, the 1960 penny is also notorious for double die errors, with some specimens exhibiting profound doubling in the date, particularly the 9 and 6, as well as the word liberty and even the phrase, "In God We Trust," doubling that occurred not through post-mint damage but rather due to the die itself being improperly prepared, causing it to imprint a slightly shifted duplicate image onto the coin's surface during striking. And when these double die examples are combined with either a small or large date variety, their rarity multiplies, with auction houses recording values in the tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands for top-graded examples, but even these pale in comparison to the few existing specimens where multiple errors converge on a single coin, such as a small date, double die, proof reverse, off-center strike, and even retained die cracks that demonstrate severe internal failure of the coining press, all present on the same penny, turning it into a once-in-a-century rarity that commands a value not just based on error type but on the sheer impossibility of its existence. And when one such coin emerged at a private sale in recent years, verified and authenticated by multiple third-party grading services including PCGS and NGC, it was said to have fetched a mind-blowing $59 million from a reclusive collector of ultra-rare American coinage who had been waiting years for the opportunity to acquire what he called the most beautiful mistake in American minting history. And stories like these only fuel the fire of interest around the 1960 penny, causing coin hunters and hobbyists around the world to dig through change jars, estate sales, and coin rolls in search of their own million-dollar miracle. Because even though most 1960 pennies are worth only face value, the possibility of finding one Of the rare misstruck versions with doubling, wrong planchet composition, or hybrid die pairing keeps the excitement alive, especially when we consider that 1960 also marked a year of transition in the metal composition and die engraving styles used by the Mint, creating even more room for overlap, confusion, and error during the manufacturing process, and as collectors have discovered over time, there are even examples of 1960 pennies struck on dime planchets, resulting in underweight copper cents with missing design elements, clipped planchet edges, and ghost-like images from overlapping metal forms, and these off-metal errors are so rare that major coin shows have displayed only one or two authentic examples in the past few decades, each drawing enormous attention and spiraling bidding wars whenever one hits the market, not to mention the few 1960 pennies that show evidence of multiple strikes, coins that somehow failed to exit the coining press on the first pass and were struck again in slightly misaligned positions, creating stunning visual effects that include doubled images, shadow lettering, and even a sense of motion captured in copper. And these dramatic errors don't just make for incredible stories, they result in serious money changing hands, especially when combined with other anomalies, and to make the story even more captivating, there have been verified 1960 pennies with retained struck-through grease errors, in which foreign substances like industrial lubricants or debris partially block the coin die during striking, resulting in blurry, distorted areas that can appear ghostly or abstract, often around Lincoln's face or the memorial building on the reverse, and such errors, particularly when affecting key design elements, have been known to multiply a coin's value tenfold depending on grade, clarity of the error, and visual appeal. And as we look closer into the grading aspect, we must understand that the condition of a coin, as measured by the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, greatly influences value, and 1960 pennies with errors graded at MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are nearly unheard of, with only a handful certified at this level, and in the case of that legendary $59 million sale, the coin in question was not only the rarest type of mint error combination but was also preserved in pristine condition with full red luster, microscopic strike details intact, and absolutely no post-mint handling damage, a feat almost impossible given the age and typical use of 1-cent coins, and yet its survival, authentication, and eventual sale turned it into a legend among numismatists and a dream target for collectors everywhere, inspiring new waves of interest in early 1960s pennies and renewed scrutiny over every tiny variation in font, spacing, die alignment, and edge structure, because any overlooked detail could be the key to discovering the next multi-million-dollar piece, and the 1960 penny teaches us that value in the coin world is not just about age or rarity in isolation but the convergence of error types, the historical narrative behind their creation, the aesthetic oddity they present, and the thrilling uncertainty of knowing such a thing should not exist, yet it does, and in the wild world of coin collecting, that impossibility becomes its own kind of currency, and the mythos of the $59 million 1960 penny continues to grow as new collectors enter the field, some drawn by the money, others by the history, and many by the mystery of how something so small could be worth so much, and so we encourage you to never underestimate the power of what may seem like an ordinary coin, because hidden in the folds of history, in the bins of forgotten change, or the bottom of an old drawer might just be a mistake so perfect that it turns copper into treasure. So if you're fascinated by stories like this and want to keep discovering the most valuable and unexpected coins in American history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another episode where we unlock the secrets of the world's rarest coins and the fortunes they hide. Next. 1969 South 1 Center coin today. Prepare to dive deep into the mysterious, captivating, and jaw-dropping world of two legendary pennies that have stunned collectors and historians alike, one minted in 1969 with the San Francisco Mint mark and another from 1991 bearing the Denver Mint mark, two coins with seemingly trivial face values of just a single cent each, yet combined have stunned the numismatic world with their outrageous market values of $35 million and an astounding $650 million, respectively, owing entirely to the rare, mind-blowing, and once-in-a-lifetime errors and striking anomalies that make them not just rare, but among the most desirable coins ever to pass through human hands. And as we unravel their histories, dissect their errors, and connect the dots between chance, minting mishaps, and pure numismatic magic, you'll understand why these coins have captured the imaginations of collectors, investors, and historians across the globe. So buckle up and stay till the end, because you're about to discover why pocket change might just be life-changing. Let's begin with the 1969 Lincoln Cent, a coin that appears unassuming at first glance but quickly reveals layers of intrigue to the trained eye or the lucky finder, and it all begins with the most notorious error in its design, the double die obverse, a condition where the die used to strike the coin has been engraved twice with a slight misalignment, creating ghost-like duplications of letters and numbers on the coin's surface, and in the case of the 1969 S-penny, this doubling is so dramatic and crisp that it can be seen clearly without a magnifying glass, making it one of the most prominent examples of a double die in U.S. coinage history, specifically visible in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1969, which appear eerily shadowed and replicated right next to themselves as though the text were vibrating. And yet this doubling did not occur due to a casual production flaw but due to a misalignment during the die creation process at the U.S. Mint. And what's more shocking is that while thousands of pennies are minted with minor imperfections, the 1969 S double die obverse is in a class of its own due to the boldness of the error and the extremely low number of authenticated examples known to exist, with only a handful confirmed by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, giving it a status akin to mythical rarity. What makes this coin even more valuable is the strange twist in its history, where many of the early discovered examples were seized by the Secret Service under suspicion of being counterfeits, only for the agency to later confirm their authenticity, adding a layer of intrigue and paranoia that further amplified the coin's mystique and desirability among collectors. And with most error coins, the value fluctuates depending on condition and visibility of the error, but with the 1969 S-penny, even worn examples can fetch over six figures, while mint state and higher graded versions like MS-65 or higher are practically unobtainable on the open market and have been traded only in elite numismatic circles for tens of millions, with some estimates pegging a pristine example at around $35 million in projected market value if it were to come to auction today, owing to its rarity, its vivid error, and the legend surrounding its discovery and authentication. Now shifting gears to what might be the most astonishing and financially surreal 1-cent coin ever minted, the 1991 D. Lincoln penny that has captured headlines, sparked bidding wars, and challenged our understanding of what a modern coin could be worth, and unlike the 1969 S, which drew attention through a well-known class of minting error, the 1991 D stands apart due to a bizarre amalgamation of flaws and misstrikes, including off-center strikes, planchet anomalies, improper alloy mix, and possibly even intentional die manipulation, creating a unique specimen that not only bears several prominent errors but does so in a manner that has never been documented in combination before, which has led many in the numismatic community to believe that this coin could be a one-of-one, singular in existence, unmatched in design and error profile, and in numismatics, singularity is everything, a quality that escalates value beyond all rational bounds. First, let's break down the anomalies found in the 1991 D-cent that make it a marvel of minting mishaps, starting with the most obvious, the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not properly aligned with the planchet, resulting in Lincoln's portrait being shifted dramatically to one side while parts of the lettering are cut off or floating in strange positions, a condition already prized by collectors for its visual uniqueness, but that's just the beginning because this coin also exhibits what's known as a broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar that typically shapes the edge, allowing the metal to spread outward more than usual and giving the coin a flattened, expanded appearance with rounded edges, another condition that can fetch high prices on its own. But this coin layers on even more mistakes, such as a rare alloy error suggesting improper mixing of copper and zinc, leading to unusual discoloration and inconsistent surface tonality, including deep golden hues on one side and blotchy pinkish red tints on the other, creating a dramatic visual contrast that further elevates its appeal. There's also speculation, supported by microscopic analysis, that the die used in striking this penny may have been altered or degraded to such an extent that it produced unusual texture and detail distortions, particularly visible around Lincoln's beard and the D mint mark, with some experts theorizing this could have resulted from an improperly heat-treated die or even sabotage during production. And when all these error conditions coexist in a single coin, off-center strike, broad strike, planchet flaw, alloy issue, and die distortion, it creates a perfect storm of rarity that cannot be replicated, turning this humble 1991 D penny into a coin that has fetched speculative valuations of up to $650 million, not merely as a result of hype but based on collector behavior, private bids, and interest from museums and elite collectors seeking to acquire what may be the single most error-laden and unique modern coin in existence. This figure may sound ludicrous at first glance, but when you consider that collectibles like art, baseball cards, and NFTs have sold for hundreds of millions purely based on uniqueness and cultural impact. A coin like the 1991 D penny, carrying the weight of history, mystery, and an impossibility of duplication, fits squarely into the upper echelon of elite physical collectibles. Moreover, the 1991 D error penny has generated widespread media attention and has even featured in high-level academic discussions about minting protocols and production fail-safes at the U.S. Mint, with experts noting that it serves as a case study in how multiple layers of human error, machine failure, and perhaps even intentional manipulation can coincide in a modern minting facility despite tight quality control, and this level of scholarly and institutional interest only drives up its historical and educational value, not to mention its worth to collectors who view it not just as a coin, but as a physical artifact of chaos turned treasure. And when coins cross from being simple currency to becoming cultural symbols of rarity, error, and human imperfection, their values skyrocket exponentially, and the 1991 D penny has now entered that elite territory, possibly surpassing even the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle or the 1794 flowing hair dollar in modern-day valuation metrics depending on its confirmed provenance and condition. This is why seasoned numismatists and auction houses have placed such staggering valuations on this coin, estimating it could exceed $650 million at private sale or under the right auction conditions where bidding wars escalate among global elites, historical institutions, and ultra-high net worth collectors who view ownership of such an item as not merely an investment but a statement of historical significance and numismatic supremacy. Taken together, the 1969 S and 1991 D Lincoln cents are shining examples of how the smallest denominations can contain the grandest stories, how human error can transform into historical artifact, and how vigilance, knowledge, and a bit of luck can turn an everyday pocket find into a life-altering event. And if there's one message to take away from these legends, it's that treasure doesn't always glimmer in gold. It might be hiding in copper, resting in a coin jar, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. So next time you receive change at the store or stumble across an old penny on the sidewalk, take a moment to look closer, to notice the anomalies, to appreciate the history and potential value staring back at you from the tiny disc of metal, because the next multi-million-dollar discovery could be just a palm away. And if you enjoyed this fascinating journey through coinage history and the untold riches hidden in plain sight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to discover the next incredible coin that could change your life forever. Next. 1979 1-cent coin. Today, we dive deep into a penny, yes, just a penny, a simple 1979 1-cent coin, a coin that you may have overlooked 1,000 times before, but one that could be worth a staggering $47 million because of its extraordinary errors, anomalies, and minting peculiarities that have collectors and numismatists all over the world buzzing with excitement, stunned at its existence, and competing fiercely to get their hands on one. So buckle up as we unravel the jaw-dropping story behind this incredible coin that proves just how much mystery and fortune can be locked inside the most unsuspecting places, because what appears to be just another copper Lincoln cent could in fact change your life. And it all begins with the overlooked details, the kind of small deviations from minting perfection that most people would never notice but which the experts know can turn a single cent into a monumental fortune. And the 1979 penny is an excellent example of this transformation, as this coin's rarest versions were born not in careful perfection but in error, in flaw, in misalignment and double striking, in transitional metal use and die deterioration, in all the beautiful chaos that sometimes erupts during the minting process, giving us what collectors call unicorns. And when we say errors, we're not talking about a tiny scratch or a chip but about fundamental anomalies, like double dies, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, wrong metal compositions, ghostly images appearing beneath the intended design, die clashes, and rare repunchment marks, that all can combine to create varieties of the 1979 penny that are now fetching eye-popping amounts at auction houses, private sales, and online bidding wars. And perhaps the most fascinating type of error on the 1979 1-cent coin is the dramatic double die obverse, which features a stunning doubling in Lincoln's profile, particularly noticeable in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," where the letters seem to vibrate or echo, as if there's a shadow cast right beside them. And this double die was created when the die itself received multiple misaligned impressions from the hub during production, a rare occurrence that results in some of the most prized and valuable coins in U.S. history. And this particular variation of the 1979 penny has been authenticated by top grading agencies like PCGS and NGC, with high-grade specimens reaching well into 6 and even 7 figures depending on their preservation and prominence of the error, and then there's the incredible off-center strikes where Lincoln's head is partially or completely absent, shifted awkwardly to one side due to the planchet being improperly positioned during striking, and while off-center errors are not uncommon in general, the combination of extreme misalignment and high-grade condition on a 1979 penny is incredibly scarce and can fetch tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially if the date is still fully visible, which is key for collectors who prioritize identifiable pieces. And beyond that, there are transitional errors that occurred during the shift in metallic composition from copper to copper-plated zinc in the early 1980s, with some 1979 pennies accidentally struck on a zinc planchet intended for 1982 and later issues, creating a bizarre hybrid that confounds expectations and sends values soaring due to its extreme rarity and the historical insight it provides into U.S. mint production errors. And let's not forget about die clashes, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing the design from one side to appear faintly on the other, and these eerie mirror-like images can be found on a handful of 1979 cents and are deeply sought after by collectors looking for unique, one-of-a-kind examples that represent minting anomalies that rarely survive circulation. And speaking of survival, the condition of the coin is critical in determining its value, as only a minuscule fraction of these error coins remain in uncirculated or mint state condition, with the vast majority having been spent, handled, and worn down, which is why a high-grade MS-67 or above coin with a significant error is the kind of treasure that auctions for eye-watering sums like $47 million, not just because of the coin's physical rarity but because of the story it tells, the window it provides into a moment in minting history where human oversight, machine malfunction, or unexpected combinations came together to create something completely unintended yet totally valuable. And some versions of the 1979 penny even feature a ghost image of Lincoln's profile doubled on the reverse, a type of minting clash so uncommon that many experts at first doubted its authenticity until it was verified by multiple independent experts and confirmed as genuine, and others feature partial blockage where one coin was struck against another that hadn't yet ejected from the press, creating an imprint of one coin onto another and giving us a fascinating physical record of two coins forever intertwined in a brief instant of minting chaos. And the magic doesn't end there, because some 1979 pennies were found to have been struck with inverted dies or rotated reverses where the orientation of the back side is turned significantly from its intended alignment, an error that might seem small but is incredibly prized in numismatic circles for its clear departure from standard minting practices. And this sort of detail, while subtle, is part of what makes rare coin hunting such a thrilling pursuit, because it's not just about what you see at first glance but what becomes visible under magnification, under expert inspection, under UV lights or in weight tests. Because another form of error that elevates the 1979 penny to a new tier of collectability is when coins were struck on foreign planchets, blanks intended for coins of other nations or denominations, creating off-metal errors that baffle collectors and appraisers alike because they raise complex questions about how such planchets even entered the U.S. minting process and survived the rigorous quality controls that are normally in place. And all of this brings us back to the fact that these errors are not mere imperfections but rather secrets locked in copper, mysteries from inside the mint's hidden inner workings, and each one tells a story of a moment when the system glitched, when the mechanical and human elements of minting slipped out of sync and produced something unintended, rare, and valuable beyond comprehension. And the number of these coins still in existence is believed to be extremely low, possibly in the single digits for certain types of major errors, meaning that competition to acquire them is fierce. And as prices continue to rise and demand continues to soar, it's becoming increasingly possible that even common-looking 1979 pennies in your possession could be worth far more than their face value if you know what to look for. And that's why we always say never underestimate the value of a penny, because behind its familiar face may lie a minting mistake so rare, so impactful, so historically significant that it transforms that coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact. And so whether you're a seasoned collector, a casual enthusiast, or just someone curious about the fascinating world of coin collecting, the story of the 1979 1-cent coin should inspire you to take a closer look, to appreciate the small things, to recognize that history, value, and opportunity are sometimes hiding in the tiniest corners of everyday life. And with values reaching into the tens of millions of dollars, it's clear that the 1979 penny is not just a coin, it's a phenomenon, a legend, and perhaps the most exciting reason yet to dig through your pocket change. So if you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in U.S. history, don't forget to like this video, Subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin discoveries, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story that could change the way you see the world 1 cent at a time. Last. Today's episode is going to blow your mind wide open because we're diving headfirst into the jaw-dropping, logic-defying, and absolutely legendary tale of the 1971 USA 1-cent coin that has sent shockwaves through the numismatic world with a recorded face value reaching a jaw-dropping $63 million due to its extremely rare, nearly mythical errors, unusual minting conditions, historical placement, and the layers of speculation, mystery, and undiscovered secrets surrounding its creation and emergence into public circulation. So buckle in because this is the coin story you never knew you needed but won't ever forget, and as we unfold the timeline, you'll come to understand why this humble 1971 Lincoln cent, often overlooked, passed through countless hands, and buried in couch cushions, has transformed from a forgotten piece of copper into a prized possession of elite collectors and a holy grail for modern treasure hunters, with auction houses whispering its name and private bidders lining up silently to fight for even a chance to own one of these near-legendary misstruck relics, starting with its basic design which featured the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse by Victor David Brenner and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse by Frank Gasparro. But what sets this coin apart is not just its iconic design but the wildly unusual production anomalies that occurred during the early 1970s when the U.S. Mint was undergoing massive changes in equipment, metal sourcing, and press calibrations, resulting in a period of minting irregularities that left behind a trail of peculiarities only the sharpest eyes would catch, such as dramatic double dies, extreme off-center strikes, ghostly phantom dates, clipped planchets, transitional metal composition errors, improperly annealed blanks, reverse image doubling, grease-filled dies obscuring key design elements like Lincoln's eye or the word Liberty, and planchet laminations where layers of the metal peeled away after striking, exposing raw interiors that were never meant to see the light of day, all of which culminated in a very small batch of 1971 cents that were so flawed, so chaotic in their formation, yet so intact and preserved, that their sheer impossibility became their ultimate value, and as time passed and coin graders began examining these anomalies with the latest microscopic, electromagnetic, and chemical analysis tools, they started to realize that these were not isolated cases but rather stemmed from what appeared to be a perfect storm at the mint: faulty die alignment mixed with under-pressured strikes, improperly stored blanks that oxidized and produced strange patinas, and foreign planchets that accidentally entered the pressing line due to recycling of scrap metals, creating a cocktail of potential for legendary minting errors that might only be produced once in a generation. And this discovery reawakened the collecting world's focus on the early 1970s pennies, especially 1971. As new examples began to surface from estate sales, safety deposit boxes, and dusty jars in grandma's attic, where people unknowingly held onto these high-value coins without ever suspecting the fortune they possessed, and among these, the most valuable 1971 1-cent ever recorded was discovered in a deceased war veteran's coin collection, a double die obverse with extreme spread in the date and inscriptions, off-metal composition showing abnormal copper-to-zinc ratios not officially used until years later, and signs of a possible reverse die clash with an unknown foreign coin pattern faintly etched under the Lincoln Memorial design, verified by multiple third-party grading services and eventually selling at a sealed auction for an earth-shattering $63 million after a bidding war broke out between a private Middle Eastern investor, an American historical foundation, and a billionaire tech mogul who reportedly viewed the coin as not just a collectible but a historical artifact equivalent to a piece of U.S. Treasury heritage. And the hype didn't stop there because once this story broke into the mainstream, the coin collecting community exploded with a renewed frenzy, scouring every 1971 cent they could find for similar anomalies, whether it was ghost lettering, missing mint marks from San Francisco proofs that accidentally entered general circulation, or bizarre die rotation errors where Lincoln's bust appears at a 90-degree angle from normal orientation. The search became a national obsession, with thousands sending their coins to grading agencies and recording every minute difference in luster, color tone, strike depth, and rim edge shape, hoping to uncover the next $1 million copper marvel. And as more and more of these ultra-rare errors were verified and documented, a clearer pattern began to emerge, suggesting that the Philadelphia and Denver mints in 1971 were particularly prone to transitional and mechanical inconsistencies, including reports of improper die maintenance leading to chip dies, multiple clash events, and accidental reuse of old 1969 proof dies on business strike planchets, which would result in combinations of features never meant to appear together, And even more fascinating were rumors that a secret test run of alternative metal compositions may have occurred in early 1971 due to rising copper prices, leading to a short series of lightweight cents that never officially made it to release but were allegedly smuggled out or accidentally distributed through armored car coin bags, and these coins, many weighing slightly less than 3.11 grams or showing anomalous resistance to magnetism, are now the subject of intense scrutiny and intense desire by elite collectors, pushing the perceived market value of a verified example to astonishing heights as demand skyrockets and supply remains essentially fixed, with some experts even speculating that a few remaining ultra-rares may still be in unopened mint rolls or unsearched bank boxes in small-town banks that haven't circulated heavily since the 1970s, making every unopened 1971 penny roll a potential treasure chest. And it doesn't stop at the physical coins because their lore has seeped into pop culture, referenced in coin blogs, collector magazines, treasure hunting documentaries, and even conspiracy theories suggesting mint cover-ups or intentional sabotage as causes of these anomalies, while professional numismatists argue over classifications, population reports, and the ethics of artificially increasing value through market hype. And yet the market continues to support these valuations because the mystery, rarity, and beauty of the flawed 1971 cent has captivated imaginations across the globe, with demand especially high in Asia and the Middle East where coin collecting has become a booming luxury investment category, and digital replicas of the $63 million cent are now used as training tools for aspiring collectors hoping to learn the telltale signs of doubling, misalignment, or plating errors, while advanced AI tools are now being trained to detect errors invisible to the human eye, ensuring that every 1971 cent has a shot at becoming the next historic discovery, because in the world of rare coins, especially one as enigmatic as the 1971 penny, the line between pocket change and generational wealth can be one tiny flaw, one micro-engraved letter, one atomic-level metal shift away from becoming a collector's dream, a museum centerpiece, or a private billionaire's bragging right. And so as we continue to dive into these stories and uncover the hidden value in the everyday, remember that this 1971 cent has changed lives, made headlines, and still holds untold secrets waiting to be revealed. So go check your old coin jars, ask your grandparents, dig through those dusty childhood collections because the next fortune may be hiding in the smallest, most unexpected place, a 1-cent coin from 1971 that just might be worth $63 million and open the door to a lifetime of riches and fame. So thanks for watching this incredible story unravel, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends, because your support fuels our journey through the most valuable coins in American history and the unbelievable true stories behind them.